you want to go ahead.
I think two things on the House. One, there will be overwhelming support in the Democratic caucus in the House for this bill. It probably won't be unanimous, but it'll be overwhelming. Speaker Pelosi, I've talked to her almost on a daily basis, and she's always asking, when can we get it? She'll be for it. But what's also interesting is I believe it is now there are 6 or 7, and all the chairs of the major committees support this bill in the House. But so do the ranking members. There are 6 or 7 ranking members who support this. McCall, and who's the head of the rank on intelligence? Lucas, Katko, Granger. Who's the intelligence guy? Turner. And there's 1 or 2 more. So this is going to get broad support in the House.
Can I ask, are there other parts of the supply chain besides chips that you think Congress might look at down the road? And how quickly, or what was the key issue you think that got this over the top? Was it those national security briefings? Was it the concern about Taiwan and the supply chain?
I'll just answer the second and call on Marie. What brought this over the top is the broad support it had on such a large bill. It's $280 billion over 5 years. We had business. Chuck Schumer was on the phone with the head of the Business Roundtable and the head of the Chamber of Commerce and the head of Ford and the head of GM saying, please tell people how important this is. But it had labor support. The AFL-CIO endorsed it. It had the large support of the university community. It had the support of the scientific community. Rarely on such a large bill do you see such broad support. Maria is going to answer the first question. Supply chain.
Yeah, there is direction here for the Department of Commerce on mapping to play a larger role, particularly as it relates to the manufacturing sector. We wish we could have done more, but maybe that'll be something in the future. But I guess what I would say on that last part is I think you heard from the intellectual capacity of my colleagues. No one was speaking from notes here. And that is because these people understand what was at stake. It's so easy to simplify this debate into some issue, as some of our colleagues have. But the people who went, as Senator Cornyn said, even I, when I first was given this task, I was like, well, wait a minute. Having worked in the tech sector myself and helped startups, I was like, well, I don't know if government should be doing all of this. But when you looked and saw the details of what was happening, I mean, I guess that's what I would say here, is that these people all really did the homework. And what we became convinced of is that there was a real problem here. And that is the credit that Todd Young is talking about, is that even though you have all this rancor here in the U.S. Capitol about so many other things, when faced what is really a threat to the United States' competitiveness, we responded in a bipartisan fashion. And Europe should listen to that, and Asia should listen to that. There were people betting against us. They were like, the system's broken, you can't get this done, no one is going to care. And each one of us took that task to heart, and I think that's what made the difference. So you have real believers here in the details of these issues, and every one of them came, at a different way. I mean, Senator Schumer and Senator Young obviously representing states that want to have more of a tech economy. Senator Cornyn and I, where did he go? He left. States that already have a tech economy and know how much we believe in that, and we want to see it happen everywhere. But I think really the substance of the facts led people to get away from this kind of distortion that people are saying and get down to the reality of the situation. So I give us a lot of credit for responding on behalf of America. That's who people responded on behalf of America and America's future.
Maria, can I just add one thing here?
Yep.
Beyond specific supply chains, China has laid out, maybe too clearly, in their Made in China 2025 document, the technology domains, 17 of them, where China wants to dominate. We don't even have, if you ask the CIA what our key technologies are, if you ask Commerce, if you ask OST, the Office of Science Technology, you have different lists. Now, I'm not sure we ought to have the same exact list, but this is a technology race, and we have never faced the challenge that we faced with the People's Republic of China. With the size of their economy, the investment they make, the $500 billion a year of intellectual property theft. So I think there are going to be other areas we will have to revisit. But that's, it's going to take bipartisanship. I want to A lot of us have been involved in a lot of bipartisan gangs. We're going to give Chuck his bipartisan tat soon, tattoo for a gang member.
And help make all the bipartisan.
A gang member. But I think this, I'd point out the 2025 document was pretty chilling.
Thank you, everybody.
Just one point. This is an economic play. This is a national security play, but this is also a diplomatic play. And let me explain that real briefly, Leader, because I know we're all busy. We have the opportunity through mechanisms laid out in this legislation to crowd in allied country investment in some of this tech development, to crowd in the involvement and collaboration of some of the most talented scientists in the world. This is a strategic advantage for the United States, where we're leveraging our values, which lead to our alliance system. China, they have vassal states. They do not have allies. So if we think about this intergenerational competition with the Chinese Communist Party, if it's the United States versus China, some get apprehensive about that. If instead we play our cards right and regard this as a challenge against what we call the West versus China, we win every time. So thank you.